So we're excited. All the years that how long have you lived here?
I will be here 20 years in October.
Okay. I have literally never been in your house.
You've never been in my
Isn't that
house?
crazy? I only know your house from like pictures and social media. Because we always went to Jennifer and Steve's, and then I forget, maybe I think your parents had a wedding shower for one of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I think I went to your parents' house one time.
Wow.
Like, I've never been to the Parks house here.
Oh my gosh, we need to do a tour. So hey y'all.
We've already gone through all the rooms. We're good.
Welcome to Normal Bias Podcast. Brenda and Kristi. Kristi's never been in my house. I've known you how long?
A long time.
Over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived here almost 20 years, and you're telling me you've never been in my house. Crazy.
But to be fair, we've lived away for
a while.
15, 14 of those. Because you're about to be 17. Mm-hmm. We've moved 14 years ago.
Wow. I didn't realize that. I thought you'd been here before.
James has. When we walked in, he was like, I guess they filmed something here.
Yeah, I think they filmed the short film.
Oh, they filmed the short film in my garage.
So yeah, and which I've also never seen.
Which I didn't know about until this morning.
Oh,
So,
it's a really good show.
Nice to watch it.
That's it. See, you love it more.
True.
Yeah. So we are here, episode 10. We are sitting with our kiddos, Alex and Kayci. They're both, Kayci's not 17 yet. Alex is 17. Kayci is 16.
We're both juniors though.
Yeah.
Both juniors in high school.
So technically the same age.
And I'll be 17 in like
A couple weeks.
less than a month. I don't even know how many days.
Oh, wow.
Normally I would tell you how many days, but I don't know.
So I could do the math real quick.
No, it's 25 days.
25 days.
Yeah.
So I think this is my idea. I wanted to sit with them because they just finished their AP tests. The last 2 months have been, they've had to do school online, and we've been home because of coronavirus. So I know we've seen our friends who have seniors. Everything's been canceled. Their graduations are modified, and proms canceled. You guys,
It feels like everything's different.
right?
I feel
It's
like
different.
like-
Alex's soccer season was cut short.
yeah.
Kayci just tried out to be a mascot, and she'd had to do that.
Yeah.
Submit a video online. So lots of things are different, and so I just because it's fresh on their minds and the year's winding up, I just wanted to sit and talk to them about how they're feeling about it, and going into their senior year, some of the worries or concerns, or maybe not. Maybe you are taking the attitude of going with the flow and just so that's why we're here.
See, now we need like a really good question.
Right.
That was really good. I'd be like, so what do you think about? Okay, well let me ask y'all this. So you guys, when were y'all on spring break when this started, or was your spring break ending as the quarantine began?
I was on spring break. It was like the second half of spring break was when it got like really bad, and we started figuring out we might miss school, and we were gonna go back to school, and they canceled it for a week, just 1 week at first, and then during that like second spring break that we had, like the second week off, they canceled it through like for at least a month. It was through April, I think, and then not long after that, like maybe the next week, they canceled it like altogether. So no, I haven't been back to school since we got out for spring break.
So I think March 5th was your last day of school.
It was
the very beginning.
The March 6th we left.
Yeah.
March 6th, so we were to return on March 16th, which is the Monday. And I believe, like Alex said, so the 13th or 14th, that end of that week is when that the mumblings of canceling school for another
But
week.
I thought it would just be a week. Like a lot of places had just done it for the next week in the state and in the country, and I thought it would just be a week, and then it was like it felt like soon it was over to the summer.
Yeah. I was in Ireland over spring break, so we had the same spring break as y'all. And my uncle, he teaches in San Antonio, and like their school got canceled canceled for a week, and I was kind of jealous, honestly, because I was like, well, y'all get an extra spring break, and I don't. And then we got the notification that, like, it had been canceled for a week, and then the same thing, like 2 more weeks, and then I guess until May 3rd or something, and then, yeah, so we haven't been back since spring break.
And it was weird, like at home, so they canceled school. They didn't, like y'all's school was canceled and they were still kind of holding out on ours. It just didn't feel real. And then watching her, like, as they traveled back from Ireland, back to New York, back home, and how, like, it was like a domino effect. It was like once the rodeo closed, it got real, really fast because it was like the rodeo closed and then the president made a speech. And when he made the speech, where she was included in the ban. So it meant that they couldn't get home. And we couldn't figure out, like, we didn't know if, like, we needed to hurry up and buy a plane ticket overnight while they were sleeping. So it was just sort of weird. And then everything happened really fast. But, like, we didn't, I don't know how it was for y'all, Alex, but our kids didn't have schoolwork for the first 3 or 4 weeks because it was like, we were going to go back to school and not everybody has internet and not everybody has this, which I think this has never happened before. I think they handled it as well as they could. But we had a few weeks where we didn't have set stuff to do. Did y'all have a lot?
Ours was like, so like they always have like I don't know if they'll do we do about like 9 weeks. Like they cut the semesters in half. And really, until that 9 weeks, like I felt like they were just trying to get to the 9 week state. They were just like, just turn in what you didn't do. We're not really taking grades. It was like kind of optional. Until we got to the 9 weeks was when they started talking about grades. So I feel like everyone was just trying to get there before they started making decisions because that gave it time to like develop. But yeah, I don't remember hearing, like I did a little bit of optional work, just like what we had been working on, but I didn't really do anything till the 9 weeks when they started handing stuff out.
Yeah, I had like an optional essay that I did because I thought it was going to be a grade, and
You had a big project due.
I had a big scrapbook project that's like the big junior project, and so I did that, but we didn't get work until honestly probably April.
And I think what he's saying makes sense because I think that gave people a chance. And one of the things, like a few weeks in or 2 or 3 weeks in, they said, you'll hear from your teachers. And because everybody's so different, their situations are so different. Like we heard from some teachers, we didn't hear from some teachers. She had some work, he didn't have, but he had some of his classes had work, and it was just sort of spotty for a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was just like messy. I think our spring break was 6 weeks through the 9 weeks, so they used those last 3 weeks to just like get people Chromebooks and make sure they had account of all the students and stuff. Because I don't remember really even getting anything about school until after that report card or whatever it was.
So you guys, like back in our day, it wasn't online learning because there was no online. It was just correspondence courses. So I never did anything like that before college or anything. Do you guys feel like, one of the things I saw with Kayci is that it felt different from school in that you had to take you got all your assignments and you had to figure out your timing for doing, because it wasn't like you were going to English the next day. Do you feel like this prepared y'all in some way for college because you had to learn how to make your time work?
I mean, for me personally, that's kind of already how I split up my homework and stuff. Like my assignments, and I already had things scheduled out, so it was just kind of a continuation in school. But the work that we were assigned was literally probably a quarter or less than what we would have done in school. And like that's what I was talking to my teacher last week, and she was like, yeah, what you got for a week was what you would have done in 1 day of class. And so that's the work that we got was like nothing compared to what we would have done, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, just like the first couple weeks of figuring out how to space out assignments and
How was it for you?
Well, I mean, so my freshman year with Harvey, we only went to school half a day. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we went to 4 of our classes, and Tuesdays and Thursdays we went to 3 of them. So that year I had kind of had my own schedule at home, like what classes I would do homework for on what days, because I didn't go to every class every day. But then my sophomore and junior year, we went back towards a regular schedule, and that kind of, like, my schedule was done for me, I feel like just what I did all my homework every day for the next day. And so when online school started, I was just used to just doing what was due the next day, but it was like by week, and I had to come up with a schedule. Like in my head, I was just like, I'll just finish this and then start something on another class, but I kind of had to like figure out a schedule when I'm going to do work for different classes. So it was weird at first, but I kind of got the hang of it, and it also helped that like not every class necessarily had that much work, so I didn't have to focus on everything as a whole.
And I'm not a natural procrastinator, so that wasn't bad for me. I don't know if you are, but
I definitely am. Yeah, but
But were you like down to the, cause is your school officially over?
my school ends on Friday.
Do you have more work to do, or was your AP test your last week?
They did. This was kind of one. So our school did it to where the fourth 9 weeks could not hurt your grade. So if your grades for the fourth 9 weeks, like your GPA, was lower than the third 9 weeks, they would just copy the third 9 weeks over. And so at the very end of the third 9 weeks, I was doing like all this extra credit, and I got all hundreds in like my classes that count for the third 9 weeks, so that I didn't really have to do anything in the fourth 9 weeks. I did some of the stuff like that I thought I needed, but so like right now I'm not really doing anything because it'll just copy it over.
Right, which for me,
Yeah, she did not.
math's hard, and I'm like looking at the progress report going, you have zeros and a 62.
Yeah,
and
on the progress report I was passing 2 of my 7 classes.
and so, you know,
And she was really worried, but I told her no, it's really like all hundreds. Like it's what it's gonna count as, but she would not listen to me until my aunt told her the same thing I've been
Right.
telling her for like a
so
month.
I'm just stressing and worried. Like, it's not like you. I hope this doesn't come back. But
Well, I don't know how you were at home, but you felt like you were chill.
yeah,
Like, but you weren't.
I don't.
Maybe you hit it a little bit too well, but I should be worried about it.
I think for me, so you hit it on the head for me, is I knew it was serious when the Houston rodeo closed. Like that, and I think that's when panic set for people here in Houston. And so I think that for those first few days and maybe a week, it was kind of like a shock, like, oh, this is real, this is serious. You know, what's going to happen, where I wasn't really concentrating so much on what's going to happen at school yet. And, you know, and I work at the elementary school too, so they were really good at getting us information like, okay, we're canceling, we're figuring that out. But, you know, like he said, once they had a plan in place and got everyone, you know, organized as far as, you know, kids who needed Chromebooks and things. But even though I'm a procrastinator also, and Alex just said he's a procrastinator, he always gets his stuff done and he knows what he's doing.
Like, I think I'm a procrastinator, but like I just like to do like the minimum amount of work to where I can get still like what I want to get done, you know? So like I won't go like over the top to do anything, but I'll still get it done. So I feel like, I don't know, I was able to do online school just because of that. I'll push through that.
Yeah.
Listen to Godfather too.
So, yeah. Yeah.
There's a movie marathon going on upstairs.
Right.
So I'm sure it was no reflection on what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so then back to what Alex is saying, you know, his 4 years of school or 3 years of school have been altered since the beginning.
I wasn't even thinking about y'all.
Right.
Having an altered schedule. but
Right.
that-
So
that-
during Harvey, his school shared the campus with Kingwood because their school was flooded. So he would go from like 7 to 12, and then his school, Summer Creek, left, and then Kingwood kids came. So it was very different at the beginning. So, I mean, and I think there's good things and bad things with that. And then last year and this year, it's been a little more normal.
Like our school saw improvements with that schedule, like discipline and grades and stuff. So they didn't keep it exactly, but they just went, like we saw a shorter, like we only went to 1 last year. And this year they moved it up to 2, I think, which still wasn't as late as the other schools in the district. But yeah, so I haven't had like a normal high school schedule for any of my high school yet, which probably will next year.
I
Right.
was gonna say, we haven't, like, we're sitting here, it's May, it's the end of May, but even though, so I guess 6 days ago, the CDC put out guidelines for what school could look like, what it would look like, but that doesn't mean, you know, things are changing so still.
Right.
And I don't know, so like, the schedule that you're talking about, like when y'all are switching with Kingwood, the difference in that is that, so take these kids and divide those in half and keep them 6 feet apart or whatever it is, and then have to sanitize the entire school between that group and that group. So we have no idea what your senior year is gonna, if y'all will start at school, if you'll have an altered schedule, if you'll be, yeah, no.
Which kind of makes me not like anxious about it, but I just really hope it's normal by the time we go back. Because I mean, if it wasn't normal and if we had to do something crazy, we would just roll with it. But ideally, it would be normal by the time we go back. And I know that the seniors this year, like their year has been totally crazy. And if our schedule is different, then that's not horrible. But I just hope it's normal.
So, okay, so let's talk about normal. When you say you hope it's normal, now that we've had this at, learning at home, and you've seen what the seniors this year went through, what are the normal things that are important that you want there to still be? I know traditionally you have the graduation ceremonies and proms. Like, is that what you're talking about? Are you talking about, the social, being with friends, just...
Well, I know that, like, I say the normal, that's just, it's what it was, and the new normal probably isn't going to be exactly like that for a while, and nobody knows, but for me, it's just the day-to-day school routine and classes. Honestly, I could care less about prom and graduation, that'll be exciting, but I don't, I mean, that's a big deal, but I'm just, like, going to school with everybody, and not just the social side of it, but like seeing all the teachers and everyone be back together. That's what I'm hoping will be better.
I'm hoping, like, I don't really care about the scheduling. That's probably also because I haven't like had a regular schedule to me. But I want to have, like, I just don't want to, like, how I don't even think about like social distancing, how it affects now, like how we can't go to eat like we normally can. So I haven't really processed like what football games will be like, any sporting events, or if we will be able to have pep rallies or stuff like that, or even eat in the cafeteria every day, which is just like super normal to me, like having pep rallies 3 or 4 times during football season and eating lunch. So I do want to have a normal prom and graduation, but also just like regular things that happen in every school, like not just for seniors. Because like I like doing things as a grade level, but like full school things like pep rallies and football games and stuff is what I don't want to like lose, because those are really fun.
Yeah, and I thought about like football games and like volleyball games and things like that, but I hadn't really thought about like lunch in the cafeteria and pep rallies, because I don't sit in the stands for those things, and like I don't even eat lunch in the cafeteria. I go home for lunch because of the way my schedule worked out. And that's another thing. Like, I'm a CARS mentor, and CARS is Children Are Really Special, which I think is a really dumb acronym, but so basically for 2 periods a day, I go to middle school, and this year I had 2 classes, so I was with each of them for like half an hour, and basically just kind of like a helper and with the teacher and the kids, and it looked more like a student teacher, and then I would go home for lunch and have a nap, and then I would go back to school for my afternoon classes. It was wonderful, but that's something that's kind of the main thing, because that was my favorite part of my schedule last year, being able to choose that and being able to have off-campus lunch, which isn't a thing in our school. But that's kind of the thing I really hope that I can have next year.
What are some of the things, I know for me, I work at the elementary school, and just not so much being around my work people and the students, but I didn't realize so much of my day is, hey, Miss Park's gonna have a hug or high fives or walk, pat someone on the back, say, hey, how are you doing? The whole physical, emotional part of it has really weighed on me. Like, how much of that did you miss, or did you realize you took for granted the interaction with other people or your friends?
Well, I think I'm glad that we have like social media, and like we can just text people and call people anytime, like friend wise. But for me, I'm kind of a nerd, so like seeing teachers in the hallways and stuff, and like that part of it. Because friends, I can talk to my friends, but like just I don't know.
You're not a big partier, like that's like your...
Well, I'm not a big like people my I'm not like drawn to people my age. I'm drawn to like more adults, but
Not adult men.
Oh, I didn't mean like drawn like that. No, I
Yeah.
just mean like.
Let's just clarify that on YouTube.
Yeah, sorry, no. Sorry. But I
Well, I think on our Mother's Day episode, when y'all talked to us, when you said the old lady inside, actually, I've used that recently. It's like, I just loved that. I mean, it's true about you, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
even
many
that,
ways,
missing
yes.
teachers, just that, I feel like I took so many things for granted. Like, even the mornings where I'd wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like going to work today. I'm like, dang it, what I wouldn't give to go be there. And now I just feel like I'm going to go and have just a different attitude and just miss it.
Well, and something for me, like, my favorite time of the day that I knew, but this has just kind of reaffirmed it, is like the time that I spent driving every day. Like, I spent like 2 hours in my car every day driving, like, to the gym in the morning, and then to school, and then to the middle school, and then home, and then back to school, and then after school pickup at the middle school. Like, that was my favorite time of the day, like, time in the car, like, listening to podcasts, just thinking. And I haven't had that as much. Like, if I have time in the car, it's like going to Starbucks or running an errand or something. But that's something that I really missed. And also, like, Zoom calls, like, with teachers, that's just not the same for me. Like, I have enjoyed being able to stay connected like that, but it's not the same as class, which I miss. So that's been a little different to transition to.
I definitely agree with that. Like Zoom, I'm more the same like about just like my friends my age. Like Zoom does not feel the same to me at all. If I even talk to them in a Zoom, like normally it's just the teacher talking and then the call's ended right after that. So like yeah, I didn't really realize because when I think of school, I feel like I spend 90% of my time in class and I'm just like taking in information, but I don't realize how much like I interact with other people, especially in between classes or at lunch or before and after school or at soccer practice. Like I was thinking, like my soccer team this year was almost all seniors, and so like I'm probably not gonna see a lot of them again unless I go to graduation, which might even be modified. So like I didn't really think about that because I just think school is so much school. But then now that I'm just restricted to only the school part of school, like I lost everything else, and I didn't really realize that.
So do you feel like what is that feeling? Like, is it sad, missing?
It's like missing. Like I just want to like be around friends again and not like be restricted to anything, you know. Like to just be able to go places or just like not even that I did that much. It's just like that I had the ability to do what I wanted with who I wanted.
Like freedom.
Yeah, which now you don't.
So how would you? So we talked about this on the podcast. You know, there were seniors, and you feel like you may not get to talk to them again. How will you do things different? Like when you see people, like if I'd have known that March 6th was the last day, I'd have seen some of those students, and like he's saying, seniors, these fifth graders, who I've known since I started work there and they were in second grade. Like all these like missed opportunities of things I could say to them. Like I probably won't see a majority of them again. And that just hurts so badly. So now anyone that I see, or when I get the chance to see a student or talk to them on Zoom, I'm just like trying to tell them as much as I can because it might be the last time. You just don't know, you know? So do you think about that? Like when you see your friends, do you feel like you're going to take the opportunity to say more things or to like be in that moment and enjoy them more just in case, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I always thought I wouldn't really realize like stuff like that until I graduated, which I feel like that's like that for most people. Like when you graduate, you realize that you won't see a lot of these people again. But now I feel like I've gotten an early look into that. So like I got like a whole year ahead. I'm realizing like, oh, like when we go to college, I won't see a lot of these people again. So that gives me like I feel like now my senior year, if it's not online, if it's not messed up, then I'll just like I want to spend more time with people. I don't know that I'll necessarily like act that different, but I'll just want more time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like for me personally, I would kind of hope to just live like that all the time. Like
Right.
not like this is gonna be the last time we see you, I'm just gonna hug you right now. But just I don't. The one thing I miss before quarantine and stuff is going to the middle school and seeing the fifth graders, and because that was really fun. But like I saw my physics teacher this week. I had to go. She borrowed my balloon pump thing. I went and picked that up from her at the school, and like just catching up with her. I stood there and we talked for like 20 minutes because just I think when we can all see each other again. Like she was the first person from like school that I had really seen and gotten a chance to talk to, and it feels like we missed out on so much because it's been over 2 months. So I think it'll be, especially since it'll be our senior year, I think when we go back, if we go back, or whenever the school year starts next year, I think it'll just make it that much, I don't know if sweeter is the right word, but that it'll just make it that much more important.
And I like what you said, like it's like you know, kind of like on like a Christmas Carol, when you get a flash forward into the future. So you guys have seen what it looks like when you have moved on, or like, you know, so I think that's I hadn't really thought about that, but you guys you are getting a feel for what it's like after school.
Yeah, but we're lucky enough, like, we get to feel what it'll be like, but then we still get to see them again, hopefully, like our senior year.
You get the best of both worlds. That's
Mm-hmm.
really a good way to look at it. We're very like we're like silver lining seekers, I will say that, and that's one of the things. Like we haven't sat down and talked about all of the things that you guys have missed, you know, the
Right.
spring and the summer. I love that that's such a good positive thing to look forward to, is just appreciating the fact that you get to go to a pep rally or go to soccer practice and then get a taco or whatever it is that you guys do. I don't know what kids do.
Get a taco.
That was really random.
That makes me just hope it goes back to normal more. Like, that would really suck if like our senior year looks like how this last semester looked like. I don't know how it'll be.
Do you want to play soccer in college?
I would, but I feel like anywhere I would go to play soccer in college wouldn't be like I want to go to a bigger school, and I feel like anywhere that would like offer me to play soccer would be smaller and more local. So probably not. I mean, I would, but just like I still want to go to like the college that I want to go to.
Has your view towards any teachers changed? I mean, I know you probably mostly like your teachers, respect your teachers, and have relationships with your teachers, but is there, do you, because they've had to, you know, get on Zooms and change how things are, do you have a different look now at the teachers and how they've handled this, or do you have a more respect for them, or?
Yeah, I have one teacher in particular, my English teacher. Like, she has on Google Classroom literally every day, at least maybe 3 times a day, she sends us out a message, and she's like, if you need anything, you can FaceTime me, or call me, or text me, or email me. And like, she's the one teacher that I've had that's constantly like communicating with us, and we've had weekly like Google Hangouts and things like that. I mean, my teachers have done a good job, I feel like, but that was for work. But this one teacher in particular, she wasn't just reaching out about work. And some people might find that annoying, but I found it sweet.
And she's still like, she does birthday cupcakes for y'all. I think that's really special. That's
Yeah,
sweet.
she delivers birthday well, like in class, she has birthday cupcakes once a month. But she went around, like my birthday isn't until June, but she came around and delivered a
The
cupcake
summer
to
one,
me.
yeah.
And so, yeah.
That's sweet. I definitely, as far as my, you know, some coworkers have really, I've just not decided, but looking at how this situation has manifested and how they've handled it, I have a really different appreciation for them, and I've like had to thank them, like, you really are special. Like, you make a difference in my day, and I didn't realize how much. And I really appreciate, like, they always have a good attitude, and they, you know, like, show up. And I don't know, I'm glad for opportunities like that to like just look at things differently, or realize that somebody really is always been there doing something awesome, and I'm just so busy going about the day that I didn't really think about it before.
And I think that's a whole other conversation. It's like, what are the things? That's like the and the Only Love Today book, the one that I opened it up to for you, and a renewal one. It's basically talking about, like, is my daily schedule, like, the things that I say are the most important, are those reflected in how I spend my time? And I think that that's a whole different conversation, is what have we learned from this time? Like, we in our family are on a big reset button. Like, we've had to go back to basics in a lot of ways with how we're spending our time and stuff. So I think that would be fascinating, is like, what have you added to your schedule or taken away?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think that along the lines of that, like quarantine and the virus and everything has like it's not separated, but like certain people have you kind of see, like you were saying, like I didn't really notice this before, but like you're really awesome all the time. But then like individually, like there are things about myself that the quarantine brought out that kind of working on a little bit, and things that I enjoyed that I didn't make time for, and like some personal like inside feeling things that have really, I'm sure, lots of feelings. But yeah,
So
something to expect.
so I like that. So what are some things during this 2 months that are good things? 'Cause I mean, I know it sucks that you aren't at school and doing your normal, but are there any things about being at home that stood out to you that you might want to keep or that aren't necessarily a bad thing?
For me personally, something I've started like being at home and the first few weeks when I didn't have schoolwork and I was reading, I was baking, but like I feel like I was on social media so much, and so I was trying to figure out a way to limit that because I just didn't feel good about like going on Instagram just made me feel really weird about myself, and so I've been doing every other day without social media, and that has helped a lot. And it's just like today is an Instagram day, and so then tomorrow I won't have any social media, and I've taken more time to read, and I've taken more time to not lately because of AP tests, but like bake and spend time outside and things like that. So that's something that I'll want to carry into new normal.
The only thing that I like that I found out was like I just saw like right around the AP test time like that I started to like really care. Like I was really like felt like I was driven towards like what I wanted, but that didn't start till like really late. Like a couple of days before each test, I would start like really studying, but like I was trying like really hard, and then on the test I would be trying really hard, and like afterward I would really care about like how I did, which I normally don't feel like I care that much about, like getting stuff done. I just want to get it done. But yeah.
See, and I feel like I do care a lot of the time, but I was the same way. Like a few days before the test, I was like, I learned probably as much as I did in the school year in those few days when I was studying. And it's not that I wasn't trying or that most of my teachers weren't teaching me well, but like just that those last few days of like getting things done and trying to prepare for the test, because it was a new format, it was online, I was kind of really anxious about that. So that was interesting to see.
I will say one thing that's different about both of y'all than like with me is I think that you guys emotionally, work-wise, all of the things, y'all are light years ahead of where I was at 16 and 17. And I feel like that, like, I don't feel like you guys are representative of the typical, what people consider stereotypical teenagers. And I love that, just the fact that you noticed that you care about things differently, or, you know, that you can see the shift in your life as you shift from a young person to a person who's preparing to go to college, because those are two different people, and you can't go into the next step of your life acting the way you did in the last step of your life. And so I think I look at y'all and I'm like, y'all are ready. Please don't go.
Doesn't feel like it. Oh, I'm not going to California. I'll just keep that.
Go ahead and fly, buddy.
Flap your wings. Like 45 minutes away.
So I want to know about, so you guys are social media kids, like you grew up on social media. Has social media changed? You know, you have social media, but at home, you're at home, you're on social media, and then you go to school and you're together with your people socially, physically, and you have that combined. Now it's just virtual, like you're on social media, just looking from behind your screen. Do you feel like does that look different or feel different, or is that the same because you don't have both components together?
Well, for me, at the beginning, it kind of like the mentality was, okay, well, I'm not seeing people in person, so I'm just going to keep up with everybody online. But then it's a dangerous line between I'm going to keep up with everybody and I'm just going to, like an excuse to be on Instagram all the time, which is like a default for me, which I have to limit. But just not trying, like, balance between keeping up with people and just because I don't have anything else to do, just
Mhm.
staying online all the time.
I mean, I feel like normally, like, what you talk about with people in person or on social media is like what they're doing. And in quarantine, as far as I'm concerned, like no one's really doing anything. So to me, the only way it changes is like really, I don't want to say basic, but like when I talk to people, I'm like sending them TikToks, and I'm talking about that, or I send them a YouTube video, or we're talking about just random, like anything. So I don't think it's more basic. It's just different. Like we're not talking about like day-to-day things. We're just talking about random whatever.
So when you go back and if it's normal, do you think that aspect will change any? Like, do you crave, like I crave sitting next to people and like this talking, like this has been so much fun, and I think that's why, because I'm having conversations about different things and just all of that. And this is awesome because we're face to face.
We're in your house.
Yeah, we're in my house. So, do you think you'll just go back to the way it was, or do you think it'll be different? Do you think you'll like want to do more things with people?
At first, I think it'll go back to the way it was, just because everyone wants it to go back to the way it was so bad. So like everyone will just like force it back to that. Then I think it might be different further down the line when people think back to this. But like right now, I just want it to be like exactly like it was. So that's what I'm missing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I love it. And at the beginning, I was like, this is the best. I'm a super, like, hardcore introvert. So I've always wanted just an excuse to stay home. But then it got hard, like, being with family 24/7. But then we're getting better in some ways. But I'll be excited to see everybody, but I don't know if I'll be, like, busting out the doors to get out to see people.
That's one of the first things when this all went down was, you know, I'm at work and with these people for 40 hours a week, and you with your friends and your teachers, you're with your people 40 hours a week, and then we have, you know, a few hours at night and weekends. But this was like, whoa, we're together all of the time. That you don't realize. I mean, we're the same people, but to be in the house together all of the time, you know, that's a lot. I mean, I am a lot. And I'm really trying to step back and give them their space, because it's like mom, all the time, you know? Like, that's a lot of hours that you're away from each other, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're like all the time together.
Well, and that's so. Like, you guys are obviously in a different situation than we are, because y'all will have a weekend apart here and there.
Right.
You know, you have different places to go in your house, but do you guys feel the thing that we feel like is just always together, and that like one of the things that's kind of a point of like a friction point, and it's like 3 times a day it's like, well, what do you want to eat? No, what do you want to eat?
Yeah.
God forbid we try to watch a movie.
Yeah, and I think it's like the routine is like there's nothing, not that much you can do in the house. So like we have like such a routine that gets so old so fast. Like I've literally eaten scrambled eggs and like every day for 2 months, and like Matt plays video games the same time every day, and I went on AP test Zooms the same time every day. So like it just gets old, and so like I don't really think we're like there's tension between us. There's just tension like we all like
Within you.
Yeah, like don't want to be doing this anymore.
Well, and like me, I couldn't really control how much time we were spending together because we were always going to be together. But the way that I could, I don't know, give myself a little bit of room because I wasn't having that time in my car alone every day, was like going off on my own and driving through Starbucks and sitting and reading, or just running errands, or like every day from the beginning, and I'm still doing it now. Like I make my lists every day because I'm a big planner. I like to make lists. And so doing, like at the beginning, I kind of had like a bucket list almost of things to do. And then like within 2 weeks we had done all those things. And I was like, well, now what? And so it's just been finding like little ways every day to make each day feel different. Like have routine and schedule, but make each day a little bit different than the last.
So I have a question for you, and this is really unrelated to where you are in life. It just is kids we respect. So we're heading into summer, and as a parent, I'm feeling a lot of pressure because like this is a long weekend, and normally we'd go somewhere.
Mhm.
Normally we'd be at a crawfish boil right now, and or yesterday. But regardless, like, and then, as soon, like last year, this weekend, Noble and I were on our way to space camp. And then as soon as we got back from space camp, he had camp, she had camp, he had camp, she had camp. We did our vacation, and then you had another camp, and then we had a couple weeks before school. So we never, like, our summers for the past few years have been so like camp, vacation, vacation, vacation. And this year, I feel like we're heading into, even tomorrow, for us, school's over, so there's no longer that you have to be on a Zoom call, you have to do your AP test, he has to do his 1:30 meeting. Like, we kind of are losing the structure, I think, that's kind of kept us up for the past couple of months. So what, as kids, as young people, like, do you guys have any ideas for parents, what, like us or whomever, like, how to make it feel like summer when y'all are not doing your typical summer things?
I mean, like I just want to see my friends, but not like, I don't want to make it like too much. Like, I don't want to have too many people, and I don't want to like go out in public. Like, I don't want to like violate anything. But like, my mom's letting me go so far to a beach house with my friends. Like at the end of June, like just us. Like, we'll be staying in the beach house on the beach. So like that makes it feel like summer to me, just because we're doing stuff like in a group, even though it's just us staying there together.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that. Like, just like, I don't want to say like let kids like violate rules, stay-at-home orders and stuff, but like, I don't know, like, I just want to be around friends and just do things that seem normal to me.
Well, for me, I don't know what I want summer to look like yet, because normally when it's the school year, it's like those last 3 months, it's like, I just want summer, I'm gonna do all my work, and then it's gonna be summer and freedom. But we've had that. Like, we've had schoolwork, but we already had 2 months, and so it was like, when I finish all my Zoom calls and my MP test, it's gonna be summer and it's gonna feel different, and then the virus is gonna go away, and it's summer for me now, and it feels exactly the same. But the only difference is I don't have things I have to do every day, so it's almost like, not worse because it's summer and it's gonna be awesome, but I don't have anything to keep me on the schedule every day, so what do I do with that? Because we can't go to the country club, like the pool this year, and so we got like a little 10-foot academy pool in the backyard, but what else? And so I don't know what I want it to look like yet.
Right.
Which is weird, and that's never happened before.
Yeah, because normally we want more time.
Right.
And so we're in a totally like I think that's one of the things. It's such a first world thing, right? Because like all the time we're like, oh, we wish we had more time to do this. We wish we had more time to do that. And now we're like, oh, we have so much time. We can
Right.
do it.
Now
It's like, oh, it's so hard. We can do whatever we want,
Well, in the first day
but
of
without
summer,
going anywhere.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I finished my last AP test on Wednesday afternoon, so I was done with school, and then that's when my summer started. And on Thursday, my first day of summer, it was a really sad day. Like, I cried multiple times that day because I think I had such high expectations of what it was going to feel like, and then it felt exactly the same. Still had to stay home, and it's just kind of been, I mean, we're only, like 4 days into summer so far, and I know you haven't started yet, but it just feels weird. And I'm trying to not keep the bar low, but just not have super high expectations because I don't know when it's going to change.
Right.
I would say we're definitely, like in our family, like we're definitely, each of us is kind of dealing with some stuff. This week we had an event at Noble School. They had a drive-through parade. And so I sent the kids up early with staff gifts, and that was the first time that Noble had been in the school since spring break. And I think that brought up kind of a lot of feelings. And then being there and being around people, but not being able like to be with people, brings up a lot of feelings. Like, but he's with you, he just wants to be with his friends. Like, that will make things normal for him.
And at this point, I'm still like here's the thing. Coronavirus is Russian roulette. It's a crapshoot. Because you don't know if you get it, how your body's going to, how it's going to affect you, right? Basically, bottom line. But we're at this point where he has worked hard. It is summer. And I worry about, the mental aspect. Like, we're to a point now where it's been so long and they haven't seen each other. And even though I'm scared to death and worried, at the end of June, at the beginning of July, it's almost, I'm not going to say worth it, but I need to just trust in the Lord with all my heart because He needs that. He needs to be with these boys and have that time so it feels like summer.
Well,
But
and the
I
truth
just-
is, you could come home and self-quarantine. I mean,
Right,
like,
right.
That's there are things that you can do. I think that,
Mhm.
and that I think has to be something that every family, every parent,
Right.
for every kid. I don't think there's one set answer for any of these things. I think you have to follow your gut because that's how the Holy Spirit speaks to you. I
Right.
think, like it's easier when you have a child who's you're not children. You are children, but you're not children. You're people that we can come to, and you're going to be honest with us about what you need and what you want. And I think I trust your gut. I
Right.
trust your gut. I would trust y'all with my life, and I think that's something as a family that you guys decide. And if you want to put it on social media, great. If you don't,
Right.
it's your it's your business. If you wear a mask when you go to the grocery store, that's your business. Like that's all of this is your business. What works for and what's right for Alex may not be right for Matt, may not be right for Preston or for Noble.
Right.
So
So what part of that do you two, but I don't guess maybe your friends, y'all don't talk about these things, but you can get a sense of where everyone's at. The virus itself, like pep rallies, like these things, like the rodeo, like all these things are 3 months ago that we did normally. How close we were to people is. How fearful are you of that? Do you think about that part of it? Like how much of that is,
could they really get sick?
yeah, could you really get sick? Or is there like a are you afraid of getting?
So like the one time I was afraid of it was we were in Ireland and we heard about the travel ban, and I woke up and y'all were kind of freaking out. And we were in different countries, and I didn't know what was going on, and it seemed like it was this huge thing. We woke up, Tom Hanks had coronavirus, and I thought it was the end of the world. And
Kind of was.
It was.
Little
That's
bit.
when it got real for me. But that's the one time I was like, if this is such a big deal, then we're in a different country. We're gonna have to fly on planes to get back. That's when I was really afraid. And then I realized, like, if I got it, I would most likely survive. And so I'd be okay. And it's not guaranteed that I'd live, like, in all seriousness, but I'd probably be okay. And so that's when but my main thing now is, like, looking out for other people. And that's why, I'm not worried for myself as much, but if I can do something to help someone else permanent, then I'm
Sure.
like,
So, but like going back and wanting things to be normal, like how is that going to be on the front of your mind ever, or the back of your mind? The virus.
Oh, honestly, I'm not. I feel like it's bad to say, but I'm not really worried about it like at all. I'm worried about it as a whole, like how it's gonna affect everybody, like the country or the world. But like me specifically, like I'm like really, really like a realist and like a numbers person. So like
Statistics.
yeah, like I'm just like the chances that I'll get the coronavirus is so small. But like then that makes it hard. Like my mom's like really emotionally like that's driven. So like I can't like explain to her my lack of caring about the virus, So.
But is it a lack of care or is it a lack of worry?
Worry.
Because I don't think it's a lack of. I
yeah.
don't feel that at all. That it's lack of care. I don't think it's that you don't care. I think it's that you are. I feel like I know I don't know you, but I feel like I know you. I feel like because you're such a person of logic, you've done math, right? And you've walked it all out. Okay, like let's say I have this percentage of getting it, and if I get it, what will happen? And you've walked it all out in your head, and it's not enough for you to be like crying about it. So you're good. You figured it out.
Yeah, like I just like pretty much with everything. I just think like to me, I feel like I'm an average person. So like what would happen to me would just be what happened to the average person. So I'm not really worried about it, but I understand it's a possibility. I just don't see it as a real enough possibility to me personally that I would like change the way I do things if we went back to normal. Which is probably bad to say like when you consider like other people's health. But yeah, like I'll wear a mask and stuff. I wash my hands more now, but I feel like I need to do that anyway, and not touch my face and stuff. But yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Like with pep rallies, I think that like that specifically thinking about going back to school, that's I don't know if scary is the right word, but like it's scary almost not because if we have a pep rally everyone's gonna get the coronavirus and die, but because like if one high school does it, then is everyone gonna do it? Like does everyone like it's not that we think we're gonna get sick, but just what the possibility of the virus will keep us from doing.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I think too, like when I really hadn't thought through what y'all's school day looks like, but when I think about, the couple of times I've been to the high school to sell something at lunch or do whatever at lunch, that sounds weird to sell something. Like, to sell that sounds weird. I don't
Sell baked goods. Oh,
It was Burger King. But I think about like the kids, like there is no personal space in a high school hallway.
My high school,
It's like y'all are like puppies.
I think my high school is like a terrible floor plan because, so my high school is like one fat hallway, like big hallway, and then there's little, we call them houses, like that branch off where the classrooms are. But unless you have a class in the same house, like your next class, you have to use the main hallway to get to another house. Like
So
there's,
you're like squeezing
so
through
it's
the hallway.
every student in the school is in this one hallway. It moves so slow, it's so packed, it's terrible. Like people all walking different speeds, people speaking stuff on. So like everyone's right next to each other. Like you're literally like elbow to elbow with so many people. It's terrible.
It
Like,
did.
it's
It
like
is.
cattle herding or something when you see it. Like it's bad.
And like I always think this is I'm the clumsy girl. I'm like, oh, I'm dropping stuff. And I'm like, oh no, if I drop my phone or drop my paper, like it's gonna buy paper.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But so it's like that 7 times a day. Plus when we get to school and we're leaving. Plus there's only 2 lunches because we have like a modified schedule. So they like just want to keep us in class for as much time as possible. So there's only 2 lunches. So those are really packed. We don't even have to eat in the cafeteria. Like you can eat in the hallways and the houses and stuff. So people are just everywhere all the time, like near people. So if we went back, I wouldn't want us to go back too early because, like,
Because of that.
yeah, because like if anyone has it at my school, it's gonna spread so fast.
And I feel like Brenda, how many people were at your school?
Like 2,700.
Yeah, so that's like twice as many as my school.
Yeah.
And like we have 4 lunches, and so like ours would be a little bit different from yours, but still I think we're high schoolers. People are not gonna like stay 6 feet apart from each other.
Sure.
And like desks, you're not gonna have a classroom full of desks that are 6 feet apart from each other. That's just
Yeah.
not realistic.
And you're only gonna fit like 15 desks in there
Yeah.
if you do that.
Well, and you guys are basically adults, and you are more aware of your. I work in an elementary
Yeah, I
school
think I'm-
where little kids lick each other, lick tables, pick their nose, constantly touching, hugging. How can it's going to be really difficult, and I'm just really curious to how that's gonna.
Yeah, and like Atascita, they have 4,000 whatever kids, and they have the same exact floor plan as us. They just add portables to the building. So they're doing the same thing as us, but with 1,500 extra kids.
Yeah, Preston School has about 4,000, 4,500.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine that.
it's
many people.
insane.
So anyway,
Yeah, so like if school goes back too early, there's no way it's gonna stop itself from spreading. So I get that as a worry.
But I don't hear y'all saying like, I don't hear you saying anything like you don't care, or, you just want things to be back the way they were. I'm glad that we talked to y'all because I feel like you guys are such good, you're so articulate and you can say what you think, what you feel. And
but I think
just
too,
what's going on inside.
yeah, what's going on inside you, it's because it's going on inside your friends. And here's the other thing is that I can't wrap my head around is it's not just our towns in Texas. It is the whole entire United States and beyond. It's like it's just,
It's almost literally the whole world.
yeah, It's just
Pretty much is the whole-
unbelievable. And, so then when I start thinking about that, I think, oh, well, it's a graduation ceremony. Like, who really likes to sit through this anyway? Right? And prom. We just want to get to the beach house anyway, right? But but they're important traditions and things we need. And we need, and closure.
I was like, it's closure.
It's just closure.
But
And-
something for me, oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just, you know, don't want to go back too soon, but we need to go back so we can have those things, but it's just so
Something
much.
For me has been thinking, like trying to not think about what we're missing out on, but just kind of going with, okay, this year there's not gonna be graduation, there's not gonna be prom. So let's just keep moving instead of like, oh, today would have been prom, I'm so sad. I
Right.
post a picture on Instagram of me in my dress anyways. Like, that's fine to be sad. It's a big
Sure.
deal. But
It's a
let's
big
not
deal.
mark every day by, oh, today would have been my English final, or, because that's not going to happen, obviously. So
Mhm.
don't even dwell on that. Like, let's just channel all that energy into making, when we do start school again and start normal activities, let's just channel all that into making that much more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that with sports. Like literally every day, I'm like, oh, today the NBA finals would have started, or something like that. That makes me depressed. So,
It just, I didn't realize, I mean, I'm a boy mom, and I've always, I've always liked sports, and I watched sports with my dad. But that was the other, after the rodeo, and then sports canceled. Like, March Madness is canceled? Like, what the heck is
It
that
doesn't
even?
compute.
What? NBA, like, all of that, like, the world has stopped. Disney World is closed. Not that I care about that,
Well, I remember seeing
Well,
the
but it's a big
news
deal.
but it's a big
It is,
deal. It's a
but,
big
like,
deal.
when this all started, like, and I was in Ireland, like, the one way I would say updated was, like, on the news app, and so every day I would just check the top stories, and, like, if nothing huge happened, but then one day I saw that the NBA season had been suspended.
I remember
And I
that.
was like,
Yeah.
what in the
Mhm.
world? What even is this? And then, like, Coachella got pushed back. It's like, that's a big deal. And
All right,
then
people.
South by
Coachella's-
Southwest, they canceled it.
Yeah,
And
I
they,
remember that.
I was like, what
I
in
was
the
so upset
world?
about that too. I forgot.
Well, and I was like, how serious is this? Is
Right.
this, like, actually a big deal now? So,
I remember like the weirdest it felt for me was when they canceled the NBA. They canceled it during like while NBA games were going on, like in the
Mhm.
middle of the night. Like they canceled one at halftime and one was about to start. And I just remember watching it. Like it looked so weird.
yeah.
Can you imagine being there and
Well-
like the kids at the rodeo waiting
Yeah.
to get in with their animals? I just can't even imagine
Right.
like you've worked so hard to get there and then
And then what?
And we were sitting in the lobby of our hotel in New York, and on the screen, I think it was college basketball or something, but they were playing in an NT.
Yeah, they tried that for
And
like
I was
5
like, that
years.
is so weird looking. Like it was in the middle of adapting to the new
New
normal.
normal.
But it was just so strange. And then seeing like celebrity, like when Tom Hanks got it, I was like, okay, this is big time. Like it's not just normal people now, so we need to actually take it seriously. Like celebrities can get it too. That's crazy, but that's really not that important. But that's my focus.
Well, I truly hope, and when I hope this, I'm like, am I being selfish because all of these, seniors and senior families this year who have lost all of their opportunities, all of their closure, all of the things, and I just secretly am just hoping and praying for even half of y'all
But
your year to be
also,
normal.
If you're a senior this year, yeah, it's horrible and it sucks. But at the same time, you get to say, I was class in 2020 when everything was crazy. Like hopefully this is the only graduation season that's like this. But this is novel. This is a big deal, and so it's kind of, I don't want to say cool, but it's almost cool to like you were experience that, and that might not feel cool for them in the moment, but like for me, looking at it, like. That's a big deal. You're the only person who get to experience that.
I definitely love all of the creative ways people have, I don't know about your town, like here the seniors decorated their doors and, we had Adopt a Senior and just different things that highlighted them and made it special. And I like that too, because then you just make the best of it.
But some of that stuff I hope doesn't go away, like the whole birthday parade and all of that stuff. Like I'm all for that.
People have been so creative. I
Yeah.
love it.
So, okay. Well, thank y'all for talking to us.
About all the things.
All the things, all
things.
the, yeah.
All the feelings.
All the feelings, and we'll see what happens. This is one day at a time.
We should do 1 year from now update.
That would
on
be
this day.
Oh my gosh, this is what that's gonna sound like, Alex.
Yeah.
I'll already have graduated probably.
You're 18.
Remember when we thought things would be
Tomorrow you're going to California. Remember when we thought it was gonna be normal?
Yeah. I don't like even like I'm joking about it, but really.
No, yeah. At least yours is just gonna be 17. I'm like, really? He's gonna be 18 so
17 and a
soon.
half.
So yeah.
Alex is like, yes.
That's scary. I like turning 17, but 18 sounds kind of scary.
Yeah.
18's a real. That's a real.
That's like
thing.
actually
It's a lot of
like
pressure, right?
that's
You're an
like
adult.
the birthday.
Yeah. 18 is a big one.
17's the best to me.
I liked 17 also.
I love 16.
So
Well,
yeah, so we'll see that.
Oh,
That's
16. Sure, I'm not past it yet.
I love
Sure.
it. Like first he was like, no, we're the same age, and then you bring it up, and he's like, no.
No.
Like, get down, kid.
25 days.
Yeah.
Patting you on the head.
Well, that definitely is going to be something to look back to. And it's one of those things too. It's like when you're in it, to look a year. Like Harvey's already been 3 years, and that before this, like that was just enormous for us. And my dad was sick at the time.
Yeah.
It was right towards the end of my dad's illness, and like that was just so huge. And then now this.
Well, because felt
But-
like it affected so many
many people.
But this is literally.
This is where the entire
everyone.
planet.
And so that's not making Harvey less important. But that's
No,
crazy.
absolutely
At the
not.
time, that
At the
was-
time, that's what I had.
Mhm.
Was the biggest thing.
Mhm.
But look, that's been 3 years, and so I'll be curious to see where we are.
I remember like at the end of February, I think we missed one day of school, like a Friday, because there was some like leak or something. Like the water.
Oh,
the
there
water
was a
wasn't
water
drinkable.
main leak in
The
Houston.
water wasn't drinkable
Oh,
here,
so-
and I was like, oh my god, like everyone's missing school for this. Like one day of school, and then literally 3 weeks later, the whole country's out of school
Mhm.
for the year.
Mhm.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like, it's
It is
crazy to
crazy.
think about. Like we were in school 3 months ago,
Uh-huh.
and now.
Doing I
everything. in
I was
Yeah.
in school saying, stop licking that, stop touching him.
I'm really curious, like how much of a problem looking is at your school. I worked in elementary schools for a long time, and I don't
There's
remember.
not a lot of liquors. There's a few. It just seems like, look,
Stands
it's just,
out.
yeah. I'm like, hey, Miss Parks, can I hug you? You can't tell a kid no. I like to hug.
It's okay to have boundaries, Brenda.
Yeah, you can't tell a kid no.
Yeah, you can say no. It's okay.
It's
Side
funny.
hug.
Before, at the beginning of this, my friends at work were like, you were on, before your time, because they used to tease me for for sanitizing the hand sanitizer.
Oh my gosh.
Or like I always like bomb my office with Lysol before I leave every day. Yeah. Because the nurses to my left, people are coming in and out. I was just
All the liquors, yes.
all the liquors, So yeah, so I was ready for this. I'm like, I can hand sanitize.
Well, and I'm amazed at how many people weren't washing their hands enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like before this.
Like for real, like, that's a real thing that people don't wash their hands. Wash your hands, people.
Yeah.
Gross.
And I'm like, I always thought it was 26 seconds, not this new 20 seconds, because I always learned it was the ABCs, and so that was 26 seconds.
You're an overachiever.
I'm an overachiever.
We've known this about you for years.
So
Okay, so we're
All right.
wrapping this up.
We're wrapping
This
it up.
is the end of episode 10 and episode 11. If we were like real podcasters, we would record this separately. Maybe a super special preview. But episode 11, we are tackling Mount Laundry.
right, it's all about the climb.
Yeah, this is an actual. So I am excited to hear what people say about laundry.
Yeah.
What's the question?
Well, so I have this problem, Kayci, of not folding laundry. I wash the laundry, and then I take it out of the dryer and I pile it on the couch in my room
Gotcha.
for a long time.
It piles until the next laundry gets done, so it's just permanent.
Yeah, I'm gonna save my comments and see what you say here.
And so Kristi
Oh,
likes
she's.
to wash clothes and actually fold them and put them. Oh no, not put them away. Wait,
Oh,
what did you
yeah.
say? Yes, you're a putter
I
awayer.
put mine away immediately, but the kids go into their baskets right on
Okay.
the floor.
I do mine on Monday
used-
morning.
Someone
used to
said
do
to
that
me
now.
recently that they didn't put it away, but so that's not you.
Like when I fold it, I put it away. Sometimes I'll leave it if it's like dried, I'll put it in the basket. But every time I fold it, I put it away immediately.
And he's been doing his own laundry forever, and he does. And I annoy him so much. He's so nice. Now he just dumps it.
Well, I'm a little bit, I do have to say this, I'm a little bit concerned that this is the second time, I mean, out of 10 episodes, y'all have been on 2 of them. But I just feel like it's not fair because other parents are going to be like, look at that kid, look how awesome he is, look at her, she reads books. I mean, I just feel like y'all are not fair because y'all are both, it's cool.
You're like a super average.
Yeah. I mean, like a kid that I'll be like, why don't you do what your mom says?
There's one upstairs that you can get him anytime. You can get him off the PlayStation.
Y'all could do a younger sibling.
I thought about Matthew and Noble because Matthew and Noble,
Yeah.
you know, they're leaving their schools to go to new schools. You know, Matthew's middle school years are done, 8th grade. He's going to be a freshman. Like, there's it feels there, you know. And then you guys, is it junior high?
He's leaving middle school to
go to junior high. So that's a big deal. You guys are finishing your high school year, but you're going back to your school to what you're already used to.
High school's gone by fast.
Yeah.
I saw the thing today. It's like, I know they say high school goes by fast, but I didn't know with Zoom.
Yeah.
I see what
It was
you
talking
did
about senior year. But
Yeah. So Matt had a parade, but you know, it was just he didn't get to go in. He hasn't been in his school since March. So we've driven a dinner car line to pick up his things from his locker, and they did a real neat thing with the teachers, and they gave them a special sign. And he did get to see one of his teachers that he just adores. But you know, there's those goodbyes that are missing and not getting to do they do a big field trip and they do a dance. And I don't think he cared about the dance too much. It's about the friends. And I think the PlayStation, at first I was like, dude, we're home all day, doesn't he have to be on PlayStation all day? But then it clicked. I was like, that's his social, he's talking to his friends, and I can't take that away. So that's been a thing, but it's their friends. That's who he misses. That makes me sad. But anyway, so that's why he's on it so much. I think mostly.
It could also just be because it's, a video game.
Right.
Yeah, could be that.
I like the video games.
He does. Matt loves a video game. All right, well, friend.
So I'll see you next Wednesday for episode 11, but we'll be back at our spots. You'll be probably right there.
Yeah.
I'll be about 90 miles that way.
99 that way.
Social district.
Or that way. Which way is it from here? Oh, I was like,
Don't ask me.
that's why we keep you around.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you all for sitting down with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, pretend like the music is playing right now.
Uh-huh.
Super official.